national congresses. After the Declaration of Independence, the first speaker of the assembly was Hajida Bidibra, who religiously legitimated the Albanian national flag. Later, he would be appointed as General Mufti, and after several years in this position, Hajida Bidibra and other Albanian scholars organized the first Albanian Muslim Congress 95 years ago to establish the highest Islamic Albanian institution in the country, the Albanian Muslim community. "36 delegates attended the Albanian Muslim Congress, where 7 of them were members of the Albanian Assembly. Thus, the Muslim community of Albania was founded 95 years ago by Albanian National Renaissance and Declaration of Independence signatories members, as a community that would represent the voice of Muslim believers in Albania, in all Albanian ethnic territories, and in many cases, the voice of the whole Albanians everywhere. As expected, this institution is the continuation of Islamic institutions that existed for centuries in our country through muftinis, Sharia courts, madrasas, and maktabs operating almost in every Albanian area. Hajida Bidibra was elected also chairman of the Albanian Muslim community, stressed in front of all the delegates the importance of the Albanians' national brotherhood. As you may know, the population of our state is composed by 3 different religious groups, such as Muslim, Catholic, and Orthodox. However, in relation to the nationality among these groups, we have a common brotherhood, and nothing that can be said or done can shake our brotherhood. Religion is a personal matter, and everyone is free to enrich and strengthen their own belief. The institutionalization of our religion has been decided since the Congress of Dibra, but the Balkan Wars have prevented achieving this goal. In the early years of its formation, the Muslim community was not only a promoter of high moral education in society, but also the forerunner of a well-organized institution, which constituted a model for other state institutions and beyond, which at that point naturally needed to follow existing best examples. One important step of the Muslim community of Albania was the unification of the madrasa, which was originally named the High Madrasa, opened in Tirana, the capital of Albania, in 1924, which in the future would be also a high school later named General Madrasa. Important Albanian personalities would emerge from this institution and would make an extraordinary contribution in the country. Those who survived communist terror in the 1990s would become promoters of the reopening of religious institutions and madrasa all over the country after the end of the communist regime. Another important area where the Albanian Muslim community has made an extraordinary contribution is the field of books and magazines publication, such as High Voice in 2 periods of time, from 1923 to 1939, and from 2012 onwards. Islamic Culture from 1939 to 1945, Human Being from 1942 to 1944, Islamic Life from 1992 onward, etc. The years that would follow, particularly after the Second World War, with the beginning of the communist regime, were very cruel with the religious communities and believers, as well as was the case with all Albanians. Suffering became a part of life of the largest religion community in the country for more than half a century. More than anyone else, the believers were denied to commemorate God, their faith was banned, their conscience was suspended, and their communication with their Creator, the Lord of the universe, was interrupted. The communist atheistic regime, which was established in Albania in 1944, started utilizing violence against religion by persecuting not only religious leaders, but also ordinary people. In 1967, Albania was declared the first atheistic country in the world by destroying most of the churches, mosques, and teak in the country. Of the 1,127 mosques in 1967, only few remained in 1990, which were mostly transformed into warehouses or were abandoned and ruined completely. The most known public figures representing the Albanian Muslims were convicted by communist trials, while many others would die in prisons and in concentration camps. The reopening of Islamic religious activities after the collapse of the communist system in Albania took place on November 16, 1990, at Kumbi Mosque in Shkodra, under the chairmanship of Hafiz Sabri Hoxha. Brothers and sisters, Muslims, Catholics, and Orthodox, above all, Albanian brothers, today we've got the greatest joy of all. After 23 years, to listen to the greatest pleasure of our hearts and souls. Today, the Albanian Muslim community has its own institutions throughout the country, where each branch has its own associates, muftinis, mosques, and educational institutions, madrasa and Bader University constituting its higher educational institution. Today, AMC has over 1,000 employees, muftis and imams in the regions, teachers and education staff in all its education system. Albania's Muslim community carries an extraordinary burden at a time of great institutional and national challenges in maintaining peace and social, educational, moral, and interreligious coexistence. The transition of this institution has been quite difficult because in the 1990s found this institution completely destroyed in every aspect, as the communist regime had destroyed it completely. The national aspect in the tradition of this institution was the biggest challenge that made it difficult to re-establish and rebuild this institution, as its religious leaders have been and are Albanians. As the lighting period of the Albanian Muslim leaders had long since disappeared, this constituted a big challenge over the years of the Muslim community. Nowadays, the Albanian Muslim community faces many other different challenges. However, this consolidated institution is a guarantee for contributing and having an important voice in the Albanian society.
I just want to say first of all, Jazakumullah khairan everyone for coming. It's great to see you all here. And I mean, there's no introduction I can give that's better than that. So we have with us today the Grand Mufti of Albania. Mufti Skender Bruçaj is the official head of the entire Muslim community in Albania. He graduated from the Madrasa of Turkey in 1996, went on to get a degree in psychology at the University of the Bosphorus, and in 2008 he began teaching at the Bader University in Albania, and in March 2014 he was elected as the Grand Mufti of the country. So without any further ado, please welcome the Mufti.
I'm honored to be here with you. And it is interesting, the first time that I visited the US was with the invitation of Obama, the iftar in the White House. And this is more meaningful because to be here in Chicago with most of the Muslim students, it's a good side, it's motivated me. So I feel like at home here. Thank you. Actually, I stick here, but I want to travel, so I will remain here. My topic is to share with you some thoughts regarding the importance of interfaith harmony between religions, and to give some examples of Albanian Muslims in Albanian society. Actually, when we speak about the dialogue, interfaith dialogue, sometimes these concepts are misunderstood. The interfaith dialogue activities, in the essence, they do not have missionary activities. We can make dialogue with others if we know who we are, if we know our identity, if we know our religion, and we understand the differences. So if we understand that we are different, we can find a lot of ways to cooperate, to share. So this is important to understand, because some people they use these interfaith activities or seminars, etc., with the missionary activities to more than putting to find what is in common. They find the platform to express themselves. I hope you know where is Albania. Yeah, so it's good, because sometimes I have difficulty. Albania is in the Balkan Peninsula. There are, Greece, Macedonia, Kosovo, Montenegro, Serbia. If you know the Balkan history, it is full with conflict. Unfortunately, in 20 years, Bosnians and Serbs and Albanians, and vice versa. But as Albanians, we didn't experience any conflict religion-based. So it is very important. Unfortunately, in many countries in the world, there are people that tend to use religion as a tool to create conflict. And this is not good, because in the essence of every religion, I believe, is peace, is stability, is love for humankind. So I find very difficult to understand how a true believer can be part of making trouble. But as a word, Balkan, I think from Turkish word, Bal means honey, and Kan means blood. So Kan, blood, and honey, all can be together. So if we invest, it can be honey. If we support the society, it can be a good place to live. But if we create trouble, we experience by history that it is not good living in the Balkan countries. So maybe here it is more easy to understand the interfaith harmony, because everyone has his personal life and live his own. But in our country, it's very important to invest in interfaith harmony. I will pass those slides because just to see, Albanian Muslim community is non-governmental organization. It's an apolitical organization. But it is recognized by the state as the official representation of Albanian Muslims. So my salary is not paid by Prime Minister, so I am free to speak. So it is very important, because unfortunately, in many Muslim countries, I don't want to say spiritual leadership because it's something else, but the management of the Islamic institution are under state position. So if you speak, sometimes you have problem with politics, and so I do not have problem with any politics. So I can speak for you. Those are the madrasas. Madrasa concept is very interesting because it's a mix between religious education and science, humanities, and social science. So it is a critical education that we leave the kids, the young generation, to be critical, to think, to be open-minded, so not to get everything for granted. And the university, thanks God, for the first time under this university we had Islamic Science department. If you, under a short documentary, if you recognize that what we experience in communism is very different. No country experienced that Albanian experience during that period. Thank God forbidden to trust in God. And we have more than 800 mosques, and mostly are new mosques, because after communism period only few remain. Mostly are established by Albanian Muslims. Those pictures are real pictures. You can see the Catholic Church, the mosque, and Orthodox mosque and the Catholic. If you are not familiar with those mosques, probably you sometimes you will choose a different door to enter there. You probably want to go to the mosque and you find yourself in church. So are near with other. But thank God we know where to go. And of course for the Muslims, it's very important to understand our motivation to accept others as they are is from our tradition, from Quran, from prophetic tradition. So we are stimulated by our holy book to be pluralistic. Even God accepts to human beings to say, if you want, you can believe, if you do not want, you cannot believe. So it's up to you. And we will check after life. So in this world, it's okay, but after life, maybe we will experience problems. So we have to understand that people are different. God created us in the most beautiful manner as a human being. But it's up to us, up to free will, to believe. So we have to understand that for us, maybe we have absolute truth. But not all people has to believe, have to have thought or to share life as we believe. So it is important to accept people. And this is our motivation. We have a lot of examples during our history as a Muslims that stimulate us regarding the religious harmony and tolerance. So you read the verses of Quran I will mention. There are a lot of verses in Quran that address people without no religious identity. For example, regarding the Abrahamic religions, they are more considered different as the people of book. But to stress them, to find something in common, a common word, or common shared values, because we have to work together. It is something that Muslims are urged for Quran to find shared values and to work with Abrahamic religions in order to improve the society. In the essence of society is human beings. So if we do not prove a quality of life, both in spiritual, economic, social, etc., so we are doing something wrong. Actually, if you think we are a true believer, a true practicant, but people do not know us, do not respect us, something is going wrong. If people do not benefit from you, something is going wrong. Actually, we experience, I think, in many countries, the lack of spirituality, the lack of humanity. I think even in a base of extremism, what we call the violent extremism, more than religious background is lack of humanity. People do not care for people. We just care for ourselves or people that are like ourselves. Or we divide ourselves, we categorize ourselves, so in order to create bridges between people, we create barriers. But thanks God, our motivation is from our holy book and prophetic tradition regarding interfaith dialogue. Right? Just one example, during the prophetic time, when a group of Christ, they come to communicate with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it comes the time to pray. There was a permission to pray in the mosque. Interesting, in Albania, we can find a lot of, let's say, worship places. Sometimes we're using from non-Muslims, and during the Friday and other times are using from Muslims. So I don't know, do you have in the US maybe in a worship place that it is used like sometimes from different people of the same religion? So we have some examples. It's very interesting. I don't, maybe on the airport you can find that. As you understand for the first slide, not Albanians are Muslims. You can find even in one family, the father Muslim, the mother Catholic. Even by myself, next year, I find that I have Catholic relatives. And I say, please don't say it loud voice, because someone will understand the chairman of Albania has some Catholic relatives, and it will be media and addresses. So we celebrate together. During the Bayram, you get celebration from non-Muslims. They visit you. And you have to salute them on the Christmas, on the other occasion. If you are not doing that, something happens, but not good things happen. If you visit a Catholic family, they cook for you in different cuisine tools. I don't know the right word, because I have experienced this sleeping, what is this called? Jet lag, yes. I am right now in my biological hours, they go sleep, they may be dreaming. But they visit each other. They have a specific good cooking methods, because they know that the Muslims do not cook pork, etc. So, in a sense, it's respect from each other, and you can find in different examples. Even in the wedding, if you try to marry someone, and it's good to be married because population needs to continue its responsibility. I am support the traditional family, so let's make the point. But a good wedding has to be with Imam and bride. If they are not together, it is not good starting. So even the Muslim get married, they invite both sides. So it is the signs of respect. Even when we construct the church and mosque, the both sides contribute each other. And we have a lot of mosques that Catholics and Orthodox have direct contribution on construction. Even Muslims construct church. So I think maybe you are familiar with that, but in many countries it's not working like this. We see that people create obstacles, create barriers when they do not get access in that. For example, what I experienced this year, we need a place to worship in one place of the city, but there's the hard to build the mosque. And we found we rent a place, a good amount of money. When the owner recognized that we want to use as a mosque for worship, he did not get mine. And I said that thanks God, he's a true Muslim. But after I understand he's a true Catholic. This is a good example from Albania. And I say, no, let's find another place, because if we will put barrier to him, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, he will not give money. So I think you are going to find another place. Is a picture a real picture for scootering? For example, you are familiar with bazaar and business activities. When the Catholic they remind that the Sunday is a very important day, we have to change the way how the bazaar has the activity. We have a lot of examples that we respect each other expression of religion in daily life. And as an example, sometimes the different places are using from different religions. This is a famous Albanian poet and well-known poet. For example, when some not good guys, they want to destroy a mosque, when he understood that, he went there and did not allow. And the people say, you are the price, why you are preventing us. The idea is the worship place for Albanians. So the religious identity for us is a part of our national identity. I think when you are probably they see as an immigrant. Egypt, Bangladesh, Arabic countries, but there are two kinds of nationalities there. They are autochthones. They are Albanians and Bosnians. So it is normal for the Italian to be Catholic, generally. Also, it's normal for me to be Muslim because I choose to be Muslim, and also let's say the Christianity comes from East. Okay, also the Islam. So when we try to evaluate people, we try to make some different standards sometimes. When we put those different standards, in many countries we have increased of this Islamophobia, some stereotypes. When I hear on the news something bad is happening, I pray not to be a Muslim name. Because when it's a Muslim name, without go to resource, it is dealing with some terrorist act. So this is a predisposition to interact or to connect Muslims with terrorist acts is hurting us. And it's creating barriers and stereotypes with people. And it puts barriers to communicate with others. Here sometimes we are afraid because a lot of negative information is around. People try to get information from Muslims by Googling, by searching internet. And it's very easy to establish a web page and to put different information there. And it's very hard when you are faced with a negative approach to decrease that idea that you have first in mind. So it is easy to put a wrong idea in your mind, but it's very hard to get it from your mind. So this is right now we are suffering with that. So even as the Muslims here that you are, one responsibility is also to be a good Muslim. So for us, when the majority is Muslim in many countries, it depends. But in many occasions, for the Muslims, they have to be a good Muslim. So it is your responsibility to give the right idea and to find a way to communicate to other people and to decrease those negative stereotypes. Haji Bidibra was the first chairman of Albanian Muslim community, but at the same time also the first chairman of Albanian parliament. And when he passed away, we see that the Orthodox, the highest level of Christ, they get to this ceremony there and hold a different speech. And those examples are before communism period. Because when someone, they want to express why Albanians have this interfaith harmony within them, they connect this with communism period. They said Albanians they do not know their religion. They are not good believers. So the communisms make them atheists. So because they do not care for religion, because they are tolerant with each other. I think this is the opposite. We have a good tradition in Albania. That this tradition motivates us to be more strict on having this interfaith harmony between religions. Another interesting example is during the Second World War II. Second, yes, I say the second. You know that in Europe, the only country that not double, triple, you can add also 10 more, the number of Jewish people that we saved during the famous German fascist intervention. And most of people that they opened their house were Muslims, even imams, Mufti and cleric. And I have an example of my friend, we were together. His grandfather, he raised a family, that his name was Salman and his wife. When the German people come to the house, someone spied them because there's a Jewish family there, and he said that this is my brother, Suleiman. And he said, speak Albanian. And the man said he do not speak because he can't speak. So his wife, also his wife cannot speak. Why they cannot speak? Because in Albania, if the man cannot speak, we marry with the wife, she cannot speak. So this is a joke but save a life. And there are different experiences that give us a hope regarding the humanity and hope to human beings. So there, even in the national in identity, the religion is very important. The communism period was extremely hard and harsh, and it tried to take the faith from the hearts of the people. But mostly in a hidden way, there are people that start to fast and to pray, but if someone knows that you are fasting, you will place this prison. So no other Muslim country, no other country experienced this hard communism, atheistic approach regarding religious people. Even we have an atheist museum. By constitute, we were an atheist country. They try to put, let's say, in contrary to the price and imams, etc. Even in that hard times, they demonstrate that a true believer, no matter his religious identities, they stay as a good guy. So they do not accept the tyranny, they do not accept the pressure. So even in that period, we have a lot of good examples regarding how religious people helped each other. Probably you know this woman, the Mother Teresa. She's Albanian, so I'm putting but Hafiz Bruçaj, Hafiz we say to someone who memorized the Quran. He stayed for 23 years in prison, just because he was imam. And Laura is my friend of mine. We get together when we are in his house. The man was in prison with Hafiz Bruçaj. He said, you nowadays, you say that you are Muslim, but you are not a Muslim. I know the Muslims that they live in the prison, but they live a very different life regarding the practice, regarding the fasting, because if you are the Muslim, they serve you pork or different forbidden meat to eat, so you fast not only Ramadan, you fast in many months, because you have to do that. After 23 years, he opened the first mosque. And he showed also another example. This is the first, let's say, in a cathedral, Catholic cathedral, the first opening. He also here. You see? Yeah. He gives also an example that we have to support people of religion, because religion carries a peaceful messages. So we have to find ways to support that. For those examples for us are very important. You see that most than half of the city were present. When he addressed people, he knows that not only Muslims are here, the Catholic, the Orthodox, and other people, because they celebrate the opening was the first mosque as a prayer, Jummah, as something extremely very important. So during this period, it is very important to have some interfaith platforms in order to make some conferences, forums, to work together, to have something to say to the society. The Bektashi Orthodox using the drug, alcohol, domestic violence, etc. We make a lot of joint activities. So we do not celebrate just in the official conferences. We are in the field to make our contribution for the society to get more better regarding the quality of life, the quality of spirituality, and etc. One interesting point is regarding the university. In Albania, there are 3 universities. They have different religious background: Catholic and Orthodox and Muslims. And there are people that study theology, but different kind of theology. Those students, they get together during their bachelor life. They try to know each other, to communicate, so to reduce the prejudice. You think about if you are an imam and you have a good friend, a candidate for perhaps, etc. So you find a way to dialogue, to communicate in a human-based values. For example, not only visiting mosque and church, etc., but when we deal with, for example, different kind of information, if in Albanian Muslim community university, they are going to teach, for example, Christianity course, or something related to Christianity, we invite the professor from Catholic University to talk about the Christianity, Holy Isidore Christianity. And when it comes for Islam, for Muslims, they invite us. So we speak with our own words to them, and we do not have barriers to tell to others who we are and what our values, etc. So when the Pope visited Albania, I gave to him a special, a symbolic. It was not expensive actually. Because his present was more expensive than a present. I feel bad after, but symbolically it was very interesting. This is the mosque and church. During the Second World War, there were some rumors on the school train in the city that Italians, they want to bomb mosque. And the Catholic community, they decided to put flags and banners to minaret and to church to show that 2 institutions are together. If you destroy one, you have to destroy the other. So it has a symbolic meaning. This is the idea. So if we find ways to communicate, to make communication a dialogue, we find ways to understand each other more better. If we communicate, we understand each other, maybe we can find the power to love each other, or to contribute, to make empathy, and to find a way that we make a better day to each other rather than creating troubles. So after the documentary, and I don't want to speak after, I just make shortly. And if you have any question, maybe I answer a couple of questions. Because you have to ask 1 question or 2, because I'm not leaving. I have a question. But not very hard questions.
So I'm Albanian, born and raised. And so a lot of what you're saying is pretty familiar. But I have a question. It's not necessarily my personal opinion, but I got you here. A lot of Albanians are concerned that the arrival of Islam in this form, sort of the opening of mosques
have a different kind of activities, a different kind of reaching people. Of course, as any Muslim countries, we experience this tradition period some troubles. But we are investing in our own institutions, with the schools and madrasa and people that know our culture, etc. It is normal if someone wants to interfere, to have some power on you. It is normal because there are other people that do their work. But interestingly, the Albanian Muslim community is ruled by Albanians. Maybe we have in the Catholic community, there are ones from different countries, even in the Orthodox community. But interesting in the Albanian community that the ruling and Muftis and imams, etc., are Albanians. And we are open to all kinds of institutions, and even official institutions. They want to invest in Albania regarding our mutual benefit. But when they say invest, not to change us, invest in our priorities. For example, in my first priority is not right now building a mosque, for example. My priority is building a hospital, or building a school, or kindergarten, or etc., or investing on people. Because when you have the people, the Jama'ah, it's easy to establish the mosque, to build the mosque. We urge that to stay according to our tradition, etc. But as a whole majority Muslim countries, the population, they experience some troubles, etc. We have troubles because we create troubles. For example, we speak with interfaith harmony. We approach all with dialogue and tolerance, but sometimes we fail to approach within Muslim society with dialogue and tolerance. We divide ourselves. It's Shia, Salafi, Wahhabi, Ikhwan, etc., etc., etc. And we divide ourselves categorization and putting ourselves as a more as you have absolute truth regarding, you know the best methodology, you have the right akida, etc. Even there are people that they say during the Eid, the Bayram, and they pray in the Maidan, they say that we are not going to pray on the chairman because he has no beard. You know so we have a lot of attitude regarding that. But we must understand that we have religion is something else, culture is something else. When we interfere religion and culture, and you expose that mix to me as a religion, it can create problems. For example, in the morning I start with espresso. And unfortunately, US, there is no espresso. You have something else, you call American coffee, but I don't know what is that. But other Muslims, they start with tea, or start with something else. The way we wear, we have traditional wearing, but you have not those traditional wearing to wear in Europe and US or Albania. I am not talking about the hijab. I am talking about something else, mostly for the man, etc. And if you come in Albania and you put that as a part of religion, it is a problem for us. And you say for me that you have not to salute Orthodox and Catholics during their holy, let's say, fast, etc. This is a problem for Albania. So there are some misunderstanding, but we are investing on that. But we have difficulty regarding the political pressure, because we do not speak as the politics want to speak. We are open to everyone, not to dictate something. As I mentioned before, in many Muslim countries, the religious authorities are under state. Thanks God in Albania, we are a little bit free. Not so free, but alhamdulillah, we are investing on that. Thank you. the second question, and it's okay. When it comes to Albania, 2 or 3 years before I was in a TV show in Albania, the journalistic aspects, there are Albanian women that they wear hijab because someone is paying money. And I said to him, I know the Albanian woman and girls, and I think to say this is disappointment, because I believe that they are not doing anything if they do not believe that it is right, because they are in the middle. It's very hard to make them do it if contrary to their thought, because I experienced the relatives. So it is hard. I studied in Turkey, and Turkey is a very different country. If you say in Turkey more than 10 years, it is hard to stay more than 10 years. You have 2 problems. Or you get in prison, or you get married. So for me, I get married and I stay more than 10 years. And when my wife is with hijab in Albania, people, they stop and they look in 2,000 years and they say, this is my wife, this is from this world, it's coming from Turkey. And my father has difficulty to accept her. And I said, I married her. My father, you didn't marry her, I married her. So I choose. So it's okay, don't worry. But time by time, even in madrasa, wearing hijab is not compulsory. There are a lot of girls that they study madrasa and they choose to wear hijab after the university. So it's something that approaches that they are conscious regarding. We may have some problems, it's normal, but because we as a society, we get restarted. You know, the computer doesn't work, you reformat them and put something. The communism reformat our way of thinking. So we are new right now. And we try to experience and to see other societies, what they get wrong and how to do better job, etc. So we are open to change. So this is very important. We are open to change if we have a good example or a good model, etc. So I hope Albania will stay in this direction, because dynamics are focusing us in that direction. Another interesting point, to one research, in most the countries that the majority of population is Muslim, the practicants that go to mosque, the youngest average is in Albania. So if you go in the Albanian mosque, probably you will find people under 30. They did a lot of work to find me and 40 to make a chairman. Because we have a young college, so we are open to accept the good tradition. And this is a good side. I think this is a good side. Because those young generation are there and are studying and are experiencing. They are not taking for granted their belief. They are searching, their critical thinking. And I'm afraid to speak to them sometimes because they have very hard questions. So always I delegate other people, my colleagues there. Even when Pope visited Albania, he was fascinated by the young generation. And he asked me in Italian. And I answered in Italian and I said, you are young. And I said, I represent that kind of generation. So this is my generation, the people that you see. So this is a young European generation that has I think it can work as Albanians, as a Bosnians, to be some bridge between two civilizations there as a Muslim. Because we don't have problem with our Muslim identity. So, Muslims, for me, it's very important. I feel good regarding that. I don't have a problem. So, I don't have to pray in the middle of somewhere to show people that I'm praying, etc. But I can say openly that I have to pray. I do not eat this or that. For me, it's forbidden this because I believe in it. So when you have a harmony with your religious and national identity, you can make a good example regarding that. But education is very important, and integration of women during this process is very important. So we have to work more as a Muslim societies regarding to increase the voice of women in our society. And even I opened, for example, during my as a chairman, I opened different offices that integration of women there, and I give a lot of scholarship for women, for girls to study universities and madrasa and to get abroad, etc. So this is very important to educate people. And when you educate, I think women, you educate the society, because everything is around the family in your Balkan countries. And you have a strong family and an open family, you can do it as a good example regarding that. And I hope this is our challenge regarding the future, regarding our Muslim identity as a Muslim. But inshallah, we hope that we will succeed, because I see sincerity and empathy during Muslims in Balkan countries. We cooperate with each other. In Macedonia, in Kosovo, in Montenegro, in Bosnia, and we find ways of conferences, and we discuss a lot of things there, and we try to find solution that society to benefit in that. If you produce some solution and some energy for the society, people will follow and will interest in region. And when in the research in Albania regarding the credibility of the institution, the religious institution have the highest credibility regarding the legal system and presidency and prime minister and all those state institutions. The religious institution have a highest credibility regarding among the people. So when you have the trust and people believe you and you are expressing religion in a good manner way, I think differences, negative differences, we can decrease them by the future. Thank you very much for it.
May I add some comments, please?
Yeah.
Okay, for all of you that don't know me, I'm Mufti. I'm born and raised in Albania, and since 3 months I'm here in Chicago. First time in US, first time in Chicago, studying all around the flow. I want to thank you first as an Albanian because you came here and promoted Albanian's values. Because besides being an Islam value, it's like we have the right over this. It doesn't happen usually in Islamic countries to have this kind of cooperations with different religious people. Secondly, as a Muslim, I am a Muslim, and collaborating with other religious guys, it's like an obligation for us from our example that we follow. And third, as your prior student, because
I didn't ask to speak, so it's even by himself. So, but it's not programmed, so be sure about that.
He is right. Because, I mean, you were like one of the reasons why I chose to study law besides of medicine. When I walked up at your office at the Better University and you said, look how this law is like that and like this, why don't you choose law, why don't you choose us? And then I chose you actually, but you then left after I chose. So thank you for that. And I wanted to share two experiences. Years before, when I was at university, I met with a girl. She was from Leja Shankol, you know where that is. It's a really traditional Catholic like territory. And I met with her. We had like we were friends, just friends. And one day I said to her, you know, Agirta, her name is Agirta, I'm a Muslim and I'm a practitioner. And she was like, I don't care. And when I came here, like 2 months before, I was like with an American girl. Like we were a lot of friends there sitting at the cold. And she asked me, where are you from, all this? I was like, I'm from Albania. And the first question, or the first comment she added was, you are Muslim, right? And I was like, yes, why? Or how do you know? And she was like, because you are the only country in Europe that the majority is Muslim. And her comment wasn't like, she wasn't so likely of that. She didn't like that fact. But however, I didn't care. But I was like so strange because, I mean, I'm not like the typical Muslim guy. I mean, I may have some slight word, but I don't have it like so obvious, so someone can directly say to me that, are you a Muslim? And yeah, there are a lot of things that we have to face. I never thought that I'm going to face it here, as I didn't face it in my country. Thank you again.
I am honored to be with you. Thank you very much for having me again. If occasionally you visit Albania, there are two famous Skender there. Skender. One is Skender Bek, he's your national hero. You cannot deal with him because more than 500 years he's not living. And the second is Skender, is me. So if you are there, you can find me and coffee, macchiato, maybe some espresso, and you will be my guest there. Don't forget that. If you come to Albania, inshallah, I hope to see you. Thank you very much.